So Games Workshop is gonna show us what a female space marine looks like, because this was the most requested feature ever since the game came out. Everybody was like, no, it's too expensive. I would have bought it only if it had female space marines, and now the dream comes true. So let's see how they look like. Ooh, baby! I mean, this is a correct Western product. Now, this is why I love 40K. You know, there are people that have various fantasies, and they would say, yeah, I love Star Trek because I want to go adventure with Spock and Picard and explore new worlds. Or I love Star Wars because I want to be a Jedi and learn how to do mind trick and force-sensitive powers. But, like, no one wants to be in Warhammer 40K because it's a grim, dark universe, right? But now you have this beautiful lady that would probably win every single beauty competition. Now, this is my fantasy, guys. This is what I want. When I come home from a day at work and I'm tired for being in the wage cake, I fantasize about having her as a friend. I fantasize about hiding behind her skirt as she mows down waves after waves of Tyranids for the glory of mankind. Like this is the exact type of woman that I would want to marry. Hailing from the depths of California, this is peak femininity, right? If your mother, if your sister, if your daughter isn't at this level, you have to tell them that this is the standard now. If you're a woman, you have to emulate this, right? Like the energy that is coming from the picture. I can tell that Games Workshop has hired some of the most skilled artists, the most highly educated people in gender and artist school in order to come up with this absolutely fantastic, gorgeous beauty. When I think of Britain, this is the image that I have. Now, I do have to say that when I went to one of those museums that shows you World War II stuff, I saw a lot of Nazi propaganda and they had this chin. Like all the German men used to have this chin, so I think like this is where the artists study. They went to those World War II museums and they were like, okay, what is strength for us? Like we need to make a strong woman. Like what is strength? And they were like, the chin. The chin represents strength. And this is what they gave, you know. They contacted their friends from California, from the Manly Jawline Industrial Complex, and they were like, can you hook us up with your best product? Because I know you guys have worked with the video game industry in the past and have gave manly chins to female characters. Like, we want the best thing you can do. We want, like, the chin of the Chad. The chin of the Chad. And they have delivered, right? So, I did ask ChatGPT if this is male or female. And it is androgynous, which is perfect because it's inclusive. It's so that even you can relate with her, right? It works two ways. Like, number one, if you're playing Warhammer, you can fantasize about going on an adventure with this lady, right? So like she protects you, she cares about you, she is the one and only person in the universe that's going to look after you. The world of Warhammer 40K is less grim dark now because she is there with you. So that is one of the way you can fantasize. The other way, you can become her. If you're a guy, you can transition into her shoes and you can become her. And when you look into the mirror, you can see yourself. This is why the Manly Jawline Complex from California is so pivotal and paramount for the gaming industry, so that the gamers who now play with this character can see themselves, right? Like all the people who play Warhammer 40K, it's almost like looking in a mirror now. It's almost like when you're tuning in and you're looking at this character, you can recognize your own facial features. Because this is what real men are seeking in their fantasy. Now, it's fantasy, it's fictional. You will never be like this, but you have to try to be as close as possible if you're a lady and you want to get with a man. I am so glad that gaming has matured, because we used to have this disgusting crap. Like this is vile. This is, the fantasy of a teenage boy, as Jester Schreier from Kotaku likes to say. What type of man, what type of person would look at this and have anything in common to do with their fantasy and this? It's like, no, this is just, it's not even realistic. I bet she even feels soft to the touch. Like, real men do not like softness. Real men want something rugged. They want something powerful. I want something strong. Like, this is the type of woman that gives you 5 children so you can be a stay-at-home dad while she goes out and fights for the empire. This is what actual men like in their fantasy. This is why you would spend money. I wish I can find my wallet. I don't know where my wallet is, but I just need to throw money at Games Workshop. I want to reward these artists. I mean, they probably sought the most talented people from London. There was probably a huge event to get the best actors. Because if we look at the competition, like League of Legends, which has no idea what they're doing, they're absolutely clueless when it comes to inclusivity, unlike Warhammer 40k and Games Workshop. See, when they try to portray a strong woman, they fail because it's too feminine. Like, men cannot identify with this character. When I play League of Legends, I cannot see myself as Illaoi. Like, she does not have the same facial structure that I have. She's not as androgynous and as strong as I would like her to be. So obviously this is peak perfection. Well, it's almost peak perfection because it's not quite there yet. I would love if they could make her just a little bit more masculine. Not a lot, but like just a little bit more masculine, like maybe thinner lips, right? And maybe the eye color a little bit dark. And then all Space Marines would look the same. They would be men again. Yeah, the reception for this is very interesting. Allegedly, this is done to bring more women into the game. But unfortunately, the people who did this failed to actually communicate with women. Because here you have Vara Dark. She is a content creator, happens to be a woman, and claims that, according to her, this is actually one of the most ugly female characters that were ever made. Ugliest women in existence. This is what women are saying, right? And I'm looking at Stellar Blade, which apparently was oozing with misogyny and no woman would ever touch it. And I look at the female streamers that play the game, because again, now it's 2024, right? Like, we don't live in the perpetual 1990s where if you're a geek, women are these mythical creatures that you never get to speak or engage with. Like, no, even people that do not have a girlfriend, they still have a YouTube account or a Twitch account, and they can see actual beautiful women playing these games that the journalists constantly try to gaslight people of. And we get to see that, yeah, like, women do not like this type of design. They're not attracted to it. Men aren't attracted to it. I do not know who the demographic is. And when you see a character like Stellar Blade, the women go like, oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I can hardly wait to cosplay. Yeah, because people are attracted to eye candy. It's even in the English dictionary, the concept of something that attracts the eyes. Eye candy. This is an eyesore. This is Nazi propaganda. I'm not even kidding. Like, look at the World War II posters that the Nazis used to make. And this is the exact type of chin that they would draw. On their male characters, by the way. Not their female ones. The only person that likes this is Arch, which apparently hopes that Games Workshop continues down the path of making their female... How do you even know this is a female Space Marine? How do you even know? Apparently, the chin's to akin to mid-century German battleship. You know, like, I get it. Like, every now and then you can have an androgynous character, sure. But literally every single one in every single Western entertainment, come on. And they always have a cope. They always have a reason. And they will be like, well, yes, it's the genes that are coming from the Emperor. Oh, it's the lore. Why is it that the lore never justifies something like this? Why is it that the lore rarely, if ever, makes something like this anymore? Meanwhile, the lore always justifies something like, maybe get better writers, how about that? Maybe change the writers for the lore so that you can actually have a product that wants people to spend your money, because this is just propaganda. Like, you're not asking for my cash. You are not trying to entice me to buy your product. There is absolutely no reason why anyone would watch this or consume this. It's not in our fantasy. It's not in men fantasy. It's not in women fantasy. We do not want to associate with this character. It's lacking in grace. It's lacking in beauty. It's lacking in coolness factor. It's not even a comedy character like C-3PO. It has absolutely nothing. I'm looking at this picture and I'm just revolted. I'm like, what? Why would I want to play a game where they don't even understand marketing? Where the basic concept of how to have a product that's attractive to people doesn't even register in their brain. So if they fail with that, how can we even guarantee that the rest of the things, which are more difficult to come up with, are going to be placed in a proper way so that people can enjoy the product? They really don't even understand. It's like, okay, this is our main character. We must make her look appealing. And again, you don't really have to make like this. I get it. You know, you don't want this, but you can make something like this, right? Like, it is possible. It has been done. We do have muscle mummies in video games. Even Shiva from Mortal Kombat is a character that looks less feminine and more muscular, but it's designed in a way where you can say, yeah, she's got feminine features. Now, you can say, well, the lore. Oh, the lore. All of a sudden, the lore matters, right? Like, up until this point, they don't care about the lore, but all of a sudden, oh, the lore, because the genes from the Emperor. The lore says that there are no female space marines, so shut the fuck up. But secondly, why would you even, like, try to force something just because the lore allows it, when at the end of the day, the purpose is to create entertainment? You get to see that women don't like this, men don't like this. Who likes this? Who demands for this? You know, I notice that you never see people on Twitter using this as an avatar. I don't see people on Discord using this as an avatar. Now, I see people defending this, but I don't see them identifying with it. I don't see them like, a content creator that has a poster like this behind him. Where are these people? Because when someone enjoys something, right? Like when someone enjoys this, I remember a lot of people having pictures of night elves in their profiles. I remember a lot of people having posters with night elves behind them. I remember like t-shirts existing with these night elves, right? With these characters. I don't see the pictures, the t-shirts, the merchandise, the keychains. Where are they? Do you think that is the modern audience going to appear any second now? So it's painfully obvious that the market not only dislikes this, but is vehemently against it at this point, because we know the ideology of the people pushing for this. So we do not like it, and yet they push it anyway. Well, I hope that they're going to end up the way of Ubisoft then. I guess they didn't get the memo with Concord. They're still coping, and they're like, oh no, it's everything besides the character design. Even though, they will go around and they will shame people who talk about character design. But when Capcom made the survey, it turns out that character design was the second most important thing that people care about. And it makes sense. Like, why would anyone spend more than 4,000 euros on a graphics card if they don't care about character design? Why would gaming companies bother making all these realistic models where they could just have stick figures and it would be a lot cheaper if no one cared about character design? No, character design is important. You want to relate with the character. You want to find the character appealing. This is literally the Brianna the Tarf definition from Game of Thrones, and George R.R. Martin wasn't charitable to that character. But that character had personality. How much do you want to bet that this character doesn't have a good personality either? Because the people that are pushing for this aren't capable to write at the level of George R.R. Martin. They do not know how to make compelling and interesting characters. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.